welcome to Underwear News Briefs, the podcast. And today we have a very special podcast for you. We have a couple of the staff members here at Underwear News Briefs, and we're talking about a little bit of everything on this podcast, from the new trends to everything going on in underwear, some things we like, things we don't like, and just a little bit about more of us, so you get to know a little bit about the people behind the blog and the podcast. So I hope you enjoy it. I have on this podcast is myself, which is the founder and editor, also Rich, who is the assistant editor, John, who is another assistant editor, and Wes, who does our proofreading and copy editing. So, and here's the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. I'm here with quite a few staff members we have over here at Underwear News Briefs. I am here with Rich, who you've seen a lot of his reviews on the site the last couple of months.
Hi, how are you?
He's driving home, so that's his. And then also John, who's just come on board just recently. You've seen a couple of his reviews recently and some stories.
Hello.
And Wes, who does all our new copy editing and proofreading.
Hello.
So I guess we'll just go down the list and introduce ourselves and tell a little bit about us so the listeners will know who's running the site and also what underwear. Just tell us a brand or two that you really like. So we'll start with Rich.
Lucky me. I am, let's see here. I was lucky enough to meet Tim through a friend and have enjoyed the time that I've spent working on the site. From Atlanta, soon we'll be relocating back to Washington, D.C. Brands I like. Let's see. I have quite a few CN2. N2N is the new one that I'm liking right now, obviously. I've mentioned that in a few of my reviews. Mm-hmm. And as well as I'm going to have to put a push out there for the Andrew Christian swimsuits because I think they rock.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, you did enjoy those in your reviews, so.
Yes.
So, cool. And now on to John.
Hello, everyone. My name's John. I actually I met Tim through a Twitter post. He was looking for people to come write for the blog, and being a huge fan of undies, I decided to direct message him back and tell him that I would be interested. I am actually from the cornfields of Iowa. Like I said, I met Tim through Twitter, so powers of the internet, we'll just say that. So some of my favorite brands, I am a huge fan of Ginch Gaunch. I actually just got a pair the last, Friday they came, that I'm going to be reviewing, so be looking for that. I'm also a huge fan of Andrew Christian and Kyle as well, which unfortunately they're not going to be around anymore, but if I can get my hands on any of those brands, I'm good to go.
I did see Kyle at TJ Maxx last week, so check your TJ Maxx.
Yes.
And then next is Wes.
I am a little country boy, I guess you could say. I'm originally from Southwest Alabama. I moved to Atlanta 10 years ago this year. I met Tim in around 2002. Mm-hmm. It's been a while. Yep. First time we ever met, we went underwear shopping over at Cumberland. Right. My absolute favorite brand of all time is To Exist. I thank God for the person that, for the creator of To Exist. I mean, that is just an awesome brand. I also love some CN2 briefs, and actually the Undergear brand briefs. I think they're awesome. They've moved away from the traditional cut and got into a little bit more pouch designs, and I think they're really good, and they're going to grow in popularity.
Cool. Well, I'll finish up. I am Tim, so I created the website back in October, so it's been going for about 8-9 months now, and started the podcast 3 months ago. So we've had that going on. Everyone's pretty fun to work with so far. We're doing really cool things. If you've not checked out our blog, check it out. My favorite pairs of underwear are first Unico. Those are my favorites. Followed by, I like CN2, Ginch Gaunch, and God, the list goes on and on and on. That's about the ones that come to mind right now. There are a ton more out there that I've tried. Oh, Olaf Benz is another one I've liked that I'm wearing right now. That's the only reason I remembered it. So, I guess we'll kick it off with talk about some of the trends we see in men's underwear. So, I know one we've reported on just recently, probably in the last month or so, is pink underwear. So, what's your opinion on pink underwear? Don't be shy.
Y'all go ahead.
I was going to say, I'll kick it off. I did a review a couple weeks ago on Gigo, and I got the pleasure of getting a pair of pink trunks with a little bit of silver sparkle to them. So, and I liked them. I thought that it was great. I think it's one of those new colors. I think it all started back, with people wearing, pink polos and then pink shirts and kind of that big trend, in men's fashion in general. And I think it's just naturally evolved into underwear. And like I said, the Gigo ones that I have are awesome, and I love them. I'd recommend them to anybody.
See, I like pink underwear. I like the light pink ones that CN2 has. I think those are really cool. And Tim Mateo has some very similar ones in their designs as well.
I'm still trying to get up my courage to buy a pair of pink underwear. I think Aussie Bum has a brief that comes in pink, and I was thinking about getting those because they looked really. They didn't look what some people would say, I guess, girly. Some people would say that, but. There was a brand that I saw the other day. I cannot recall it right now, but instead of the really light pink, it was more of a fuchsia, like a dark hot pink. Mm-hmm. That would be fine. I loved the way that it fit, and it had my favorite, pouch design, and so I think a pair of those might end up in my collection soon.
Cool. What about you, Rich? What's your opinion on them?
I think color's great. I think that any amount of color is awesome, and pink is the color, so it works for me. I don't have too much pink, I'll be totally honest. I really don't. My other half does. He loves the I think the first thing he ever got that was pink, and he really out there color was the Basket mesh sports jock.
Oh yeah,
that was in pink, and he still has it to this day. I'm surprised he's still alive, and he loves it. It's considered his favorite jock. It's his lucky jock. And recently got him the darker hot pink jock from CN2 that they have out, and he loves that one as well, but it's still not his favorite. So I really can't wait until that particular, if Basket does come back out with that pink one for him. But again, for me, color, I love color. I think it's the best thing that's out there. I think, you got to get away from the traditional black or the white or something very plain. And I think that, I think you coined the phrase, or someone else, pink is the new black, is the new thing. But again, like you said, it's trendy and it's out there. So I think that, when something like that happens, we're going to start seeing it in everything, just like we have been. So.
Yep. And then Basket may or may not come out with it, because I talked to them a while back. That was one of their best sellers of all time, was the pink jock. And he said it wasn't dead, but it wasn't on their plans to come back right away. So you may see it soon. That's a may. So don't hold me to it saying that they're going to come out with a pink jock again. But, so I guess... what's that?
I was just going to say, CN2's got the cashmere pink one, and that's kind of a good runner-up, I think.
So, yeah, they have some really good... I like the CN2 jocks.
Yeah, totally.
So, and they... I talked to them actually on Friday, and I like their bamboo line, too. That's another one I forgot to mention. And so the original back in stock, so if you like the original CN2 bamboo, go check it out.
I remember you telling me when those came out that they were really fantastic, and at the time I didn't have the chance to get them, but I believe it was Skivvies that I saw something the other day that they emailed to me that they had them. So I was probably going to get a pair of those.
Definitely try them. I love those. Those are probably one of my favorites. I haven't tried the new brand, the new line, but the original I loved. So, but moving on, I guess the next trend that's really big right now, and we've reported on it too, just recently from Mr. John, is the enhancement underwear. So it seems to be really big. Everyone, including Calvin Klein, has come out with enhancement underwear.
I've noticed that too. I think it's a really cool thing that's catching on. A lot of people are getting to, or a lot of guys are getting into the, lift it up and push it out kind of mentality. That's the one main thing that I really like about the two Exist that I have. I just have the regular pouch briefs, but the first thing that I found out when I got my first pair, I can say, I put them on and I was in heaven. I mean, it was what I was looking for a long time. Someone bought me a pair of Aussie Bums a few years back, and it was the regular, the property of, briefs, and it's got the pouch and the added pouch inside that everything is supposed to fit into, and I put those on, and I remember running through the house, just standing there and just pointing at everybody sitting in the house, going, this is it, this is the new thing, and everybody's standing there with their jaws dropped, going, "Oh my God! For one thing, I can't believe you did that, but that's pretty awesome."
Funny boy.
So,
and what about you, John? You reviewed the Andrew Christian we had.
Yeah, the first the first kind of enhancement underwear that I saw. I'm a huge fan of undergear, and the first couple pairs of enhancement underwear that I saw were the butt pad one, which if you read my article on the enhancement underwear on the blog, you'll say I wasn't a huge fan of those, but I think they've come a long way, even since I first saw them in undergear a couple years back. I did get the chance to review the Andrew Christian Show It, and it was the first pair that I had that had the internal pouch. And once again, I was a little apprehensive at first to go out and try it. But once I got it on, I was amazed at how comfortable it was. And I think that's just kind of a trend in general for the way enhancement underwear has come and how far it has come. Even, going into the flashback, instead of maximizing what you have up front, but maximize what you have in the back as well. If I can get a pair of undies that, help in the back end, I think most men would agree that that's a good thing. So,
yeah, definitely. Anyone else with any opinions on the enhancement underwear?
Well, let me add in on that. I totally agree with everybody. It has come a long way from the very first stuff that came out, and I will admit that some of the first stuff that I had, it was my first pair of anything that had anything to do with enhancement, I believe, were the CN2 briefs that they had out that had a sling.
Mm-hmm.
And it involved an elastic fabric string that was internal and then a little clip. And let me just tell you, that was the biggest pain in the rear to try and get worked correctly and fit on and every time and keep it on. Because after about 5 minutes, it was the most painful thing in the world. So I could never understand why anybody would actually want it. And I went to the point of cutting them out. If I happened to get a pair, and let's say, it was the pair, I wanted the pair because of the color, not so much because of the sling, I went and I cut them out with a pair of scissors. It was so annoying. But since those, I think it has, like you said, it's come a long way. I reviewed not so much underwear per se, but the Show It swim trunks from Andrew Christian, which are set up the exact same way the boxers and the briefs and stuff like that. And it was unbelievably comfortable, and it totally did what it was supposed to do. As well as not only this, I wouldn't say it's not the same style as the Show It, but the Andrew Christian Almost Naked basically does somewhat of the similar thing. It totally tries to show it off, but it does it in more what I would consider more ergonomically correct comfort in that sense. But it's the exact same thing. It really showed it off, and that was a white bathing suit that I was wearing. So I would say that really showed it off very, very well. So yes, I totally agree. Everything has come a long way. They put a lot of thought and design into this, whereas I think at first it was kind of like half. It wasn't done the best because people were just trying to do something that was new and, let's put this and this together and see what happens type thing. So I think they have developed it a lot farther.
Exactly. I know I got the new Calvin Klein ones since they've come out with enhancement underwear, and they have a strap in it that just doesn't, it's not at the right place. I'm like, I hate these.
I have to agree with Rich. Everybody that I've known that's got a pair of the CN2s with the sling has come down to cutting the sling out. I got a pair, and I thought they would, totally be awesome. And I wore it one day, and if you're a guy that drinks a lot of water or any kind of fluids, and you're going constantly, there's just no sense. There's no reason. I mean, you just have to put it back in, get everything situated again, and I don't think they really thought through the button on those slings. Because it's kind of like a plastic button fitting into a little slit in a piece of material, and so it kind of made it hard to get them back, to get the sling back into place.
If you need enhancement underwear from CN2, get the bamboo ones because those do the exact same thing, but there's no sling or anything. It has what they call the trophy shelf pouch. It sort of lifts up everything you have and pushes it out. So.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you on those. Those are very comfortable, and I'm wearing one right now. So, again, I told you I love CN2, so I had to have brought like 3 or 4 with them this weekend on this trip of mine. So, but yeah, the bamboo ones are wonderful. They're great. I was glad. I was lucky enough to get several pairs from Universal. Was it Universal Gear?
Yeah.
Yeah, that closed down in Atlanta, but they had a bunch of stuff on. They had all their underwear on sale, and near the tail end, they started pricing it down and down and down. So I was able to pick up a couple of the bamboos before they left. So that was good. But yeah, totally worth it. I felt like step up in a sense. I think they finally thought, okay, wait, the sling thing isn't working, so let's do something different.
Yeah.
So.
And they've really done a lot of different colors too lately. That's the other thing that I've noticed is. That and what we mentioned, the ergonomically designed underwear are two things that have really taken off in the last probably year. Because you have, like, obviously, Unico does it, ErgoWear does the ergonomically designed pouch. So I think more underwear manufacturers are looking at it from that perspective and not just something you just have to wear.
Well, what about the Skivvies briefs? They had the XYZ pouches that, depending on your endowment, you could get them specially sized, I guess, for you.
Good idea.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good idea. You just need to think about it a little bit before you get them. I can see Jeff Stryker wearing a Z. And I can see maybe Colton Ford getting a Y, and a lot of other people getting X's. You kind of buy it and get it home, and you're like, dang, I'm not a Y.
So, what do you think of colors going on right now and the patterns and because I know if you look at like Gigo, who's really been good to us over the last couple months, has some really wild designs. And who else? Everyone's coming out, like CN2's done a lot of different colors with their pop colors, and I'm trying to think who else. A lot of people are doing different colors.
I think
even besides the colors, though, or the patterns or the designs, I think that Ginchcons came out with all those different, the truck or the, those types of things, which kind of brought you back to, being 5 or 6 years old and having like, Tonka toys or something like that on your underwear. So I thought that was kind of kiddish, and it was cute, kind of bringing back some nostalgia and things along those lines. I think the next thing that they did, which was great, and it was funny that I had actually personally mentioned this to somebody like a couple of weeks ago in Orlando randomly. I'm not even sure why, but I was like, oh, they should come out with underwear with like superheroes on it. And who just did that? Ginchgotch?
No,
Aussie Bomb. Yep.
Aussie Bomb just came out with it. I love the fact that, you can't, because every normal superhero that everyone knows is copyrighted, they had to come up with their own, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
But they're just doing stuff like that again. It's bringing the childish, kid side of things back in, men's underwear, and I just think that's kind of cool because, back in the day you had the, I know for a fact I had the Spider-Man or the Incredible Hulk ones, as being like when I was like 6 or 7 or 5 or whatever. So I thought that was kind of cute that they brought that back again. But you're right. I think people have realized that underwear is supposed to be funny and entertaining and, something that's not so serious. And I think that's what's helpful these days. And color, I'm glad they've come out with some color because you need something to spice it up, get yourselves out of the monotony that is, 9 to 5 working and this, that, and the other.
Exactly.
So.
Well, I agree, and I think too. It's when I was growing up, it was all white, black, or gray, and there really was no variety in men's underwear, and I think that's what draws a lot of people to designer underwear, and the Aussie Bombs and the Gigo and all those different brands is because it's something different, it's something new, and I think that's what draws people to them.
Yeah.
Right. I remember growing up, living in the country, and my parents weren't that well off. It was mostly Spencer's underwear, Fruit of the Loom underwear, something like that. I used to beg my parents to get me something besides white briefs, and my mom took pity on me one day, and she got me a pair of, I think they were Fruit of the Looms, but they had Woodstock from Charlie Brown on it. And when I got old enough, I remember one night very plainly, I went to Swingin' Richards, and I was just sitting there, no exciting underwear came out from the back, and this guy came out, and when he dropped his pants, he had on a pair of Scooby-Doo underwear. And I just lost it. I was up there, throwing him a 5. I was like, just tell me where you got those. And he said it was some airport in Los Angeles that he found them. And so that right there started my hunt for childlike underwear for men. And I was on Undergear, and I found some Steven underwear, and they were yellow, and they had green turtles all over them.
Yep.
And I spoke with a friend, and I told him about this, how I wanted to find more exciting ones. He went to West Palm, somewhere. Anyway, he came back, and he had a pair of Dolce & Gabbana square cut underwear with Batman on the side.
Nice.
And I was just fulfilled.
Too funny. Yeah, I'm loving the colors, I will say. Gigo's really doing, if you like the wild patterns, they're doing it. And actually the new Unico Natural brand that just came out this week, or line, is very out there. It's got some really cool stuff.
Well, a few years ago, I saw the guys from Gigo at Atlanta Pride, the last time that it was in the park. And the two guys there were really nice. Actually, I think they lived in Marietta. They were doing their selling their Unico stuff from Marietta. I did some modeling of the underwear, just standing around the booth on Sunday, and what they did was, hey, if you can give us a little bit of your time and wear some of these, then we'll just give you those. Just take them with you just for spending the time with us. And I got this pair of really shiny metallic red square cuts, and they felt so good while I was walking around the park that I bought another pair when I left. I just felt like I at least deserved to buy something from them, since I got this pair from them. And I got a pair of mesh like white and baby blue mesh briefs, and they are terrific. You almost feel like you have nothing on.
Well, I was going to say, Tim, you even just did a podcast with DMK, and some of the stuff and some of their patterns that they're coming out with, if you haven't checked those out, are awesome as well. I mean, just some of the stuff that, a giraffe print, I'm anxious to see what that looks like. So I think there's some really cool stuff coming down the line, too.
She's doing some wild stuff. She's always done outside the box stuff, and she's just as fun to talk to off the podcast as on. So every time I talk to her, we always talk at least 30 minutes or more. Even if it's like 5-minute question, it's like, oh, then we start talking about other things. So Diane's been really great.
Cool.
So we're approaching 30 minutes, so we'll wrap it up. So any last thoughts from anyone? Anything you want to see in underwear? Anything you want to see come down the pipe?
I know I had something in my mind, but I'm a blank right now.
Put you on the spot.
I was going to say, I know there's a look for an article coming out here before too long, too, on men's thongs for daily wear. I am a lifelong thong buyer now. I never thought I would be, but after I tried my first one, I am definitely for daily wear. I'm a huge fan. So, but then again, I have also just experienced wearing jocks for everyday wear as well. So, once again, I'm a fan for life. So, be looking for that. I think that's an upcoming trend in men's underwear that commonly gets overlooked as well. So, men's thongs, even if you haven't thought about wearing one, try one, pick one out and try it. And I bet you'll be surprised.
Yeah, Rich wrote an article about that a while back, too.
Yeah, hold on just for a second, guys. Clue me in again. I had to bounce off for just a quick sec. What are we talking about?
We're wrapping up, and because we're driving home from out of state, but we're wrapping up to what we want to see in underwear coming up. And John mentioned he just did the story on, or about to do a story on thongs for daily wear, and you did one about how to pick out a thong a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I really totally enjoyed doing that article. It was really worth it. My collection is, I'd say, obviously, like I've mentioned in a couple of the reviews, it leans more towards the jock straps because that's what I've got. That's what I love to wear. I wear it all the time. I've got 50, 60 pairs at this point, I think. But I do have a lot of each other kinds. I've got briefs. I've got boxer briefs. No boxers. Boxers are bad. They don't exist in my world. But I do have, 20, 30 pairs of thongs, and every once in a while I'll sport one here and there. And I was glad, I was excited to write the article. It was good, and hopefully soon, if I can ever get a chance to finish it, there's also another one I'm doing about jock straps and daily wear, and not just for sports and stuff like that, which obviously I fit totally in with because I wear them all the time. So
very cool. So, and I'm trying to think what I want to see in underwear. I'm enjoying the colors. I want more colors, more designs like that. I like Gigo and their wild prints. So, but many people tend to stay away from them because, you have that for a lot of guys, that gym factor in underwear that if don't want to see taking their pants off the gym in the underwear. So some guys do. Some guys are like, no. So, but it just depends on where you're wearing them and who you're wearing them for, I guess.
I guess I'm not at the gym with you.
I don't mind, but some guys really sit down and think, I cannot wear these to work because I'm going to the gym tonight, and don't want the other guys to see them in the underwear.
Yeah, I had that mindset at one time, but when you and I were working together and I was going to the gym at lunch break, I got to the point where I wasn't even thinking about it. I just dropped my pants one day and say, darn it, I kind of wore a thong today.
Yeah, so that's a big factor in underwear these days, but it's starting to branch out, and our newest writer, Mark, who is a straight guy in underwear, who would love to have aboard, is really changing because mainly who buys underwear are gay guys and the girlfriends and wives, but it's starting to change that more and more guys are going to buy their own underwear. So
it would be wonderful to have a partner to really get excited in underwear and find you some that would just blow your mind when you get home. So I think it's a wonderful thing when you have the other side of the relationship jumping in and saying, this is what I want to see you in. Just
Diane at DMK agrees with you. So there you go. There's nothing better than having a hot guy in hot underwear. So
yeah, I do that for Travis. The last time that I got underwear for him was I got on Skivvies and I saw because he kept saying that he wanted a jock with a smaller waistband, and I kept saying, well, do you want a swimmer's jock? What kind of jock? I need to know, which kind. And he said, just surprise me. So I got him the two exist. I can't remember the style name, but it was the Retro Jock. That's what it was. I got him the Retro Jock, and I got it home, and I made him put it on as soon as he got it out of the box, and he fell in love with it. And I was like, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a pair of underwear going on you and a smile popping up on your face. That's what I think underwear should do.
True.
I agree, and that's a great jock too. So my other half has two of them. So
Yep. I guess that leads me into something that I want to see later. I really, really love the bike jocks. I love the waffle material that is used in the front. But a lot of times people find that the pouch has too much material in it. And sometimes they find that it bunches up too much in the bend of the legs. And I want to see a jock with that material, but just a smaller or more compact uplifting pouch.
We'll see. They do. I haven't had much interaction with bikes, though.
I have a bunch of theirs, and it varies. I personally, I don't understand their sizing. I think it's kind of strange. I'm thinking that the fabric is. I think they use good quality elastic and everything like that. So for me, an extra large is really tight. I don't know why. I buy all extra large for bike, and it's still tight. I'm like, it shouldn't be like this. Because, their size chart says that an extra large should be for someone who's got a waist of like a 40. I'm like, not there. But I'm assuming it's such high quality material that the elasticity is just so tight that it takes a long time for you to break them in. Yeah. So that's I'm not sure. I've got a bunch of them. I wear them at the gym all the time. I totally enjoy them. I'm glad they kind of shrunk down the waistband a little bit, made it have a little bit more modern look to it than just the original 3-inch or the 1-inch. So I'm glad that there's kind of a middle ground with the bike this time around. But yeah, for me, sizing's kind of like, I don't get it. But I think that's the other thing with a lot of brands that are out there. I'm so glad that there's a website like the one that we, the blog that we work on, because it gives people insight that might not know the sizing, and that's the biggest thing. Why go find something you like, buy it, or obviously nowadays you shop online for almost everything, so you don't really have the opportunity to really see what it looks like in person, know whether it's going to fit ahead of time, and there's so many brands out there that are not sized like, I wouldn't say normal, but the sizing isn't exactly what you think, and a lot of stuff runs small, and that really is annoying.
Well, yeah, it really depends on where they're based out of as to what the sizing does. Because if you're based on South American sizes like Chico, Unico, who else is going to be smaller?
Well, I think
it's a little bit smaller because they're shorter guys than we are here, and they're doing it for a guy who may be 5'7", 5'8", as opposed to we're over a lot of guys here over 6 foot or bigger that the sizing just doesn't hold up. So
Right, I think here in the United States, most of our guys, I guess in some ways you can say, are a little bit healthier. I'm saying that nicely. We do like to eat a little bit more over here, and so our underwear brands here, they're like, okay, well, we're gonna size these, kind of like the pants, the jean sizes too, but I don't really know how to say how other countries, since they don't have the inches thing that we do, and it's not really easy to convert from the metric system to, imperial units as we use. One of the things that I saw, especially with Unico, if someone had not told me beforehand, before I got a pair of Unicos, I would have never known to get a medium. Because most of my underwear are smalls. That's just what I've gotten used to wearing. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to get these Unicos. And somebody literally grabbed me by the arm and said, buy bigger. And so I said, okay, well, I'm not going to get a large, so I'm going to get a medium. And when I got the mediums, I said, well, I actually could have used a large. So that's one I don't think there's ever going to be a worldwide
Nope.
underwear size.
No, that's why we started if you look on the top of the site, you'll see sizing tab at the top, and then I'll tell you a lot of the sizing out there. Me and Rich sat down one day and went through all the brands we knew that were smaller or right on sizing, and did it and posted it. So
y'all are smart guys.
Yes, definitely. I was going to say, Wes, I had the exact same experience with Unico only, but I didn't have somebody there to tell me to buy bigger. And I ordered a pair of the smalls, and I got them, and it was an instant turn off to the brand right away. Luckily, since then, I've given them another shot now that I've experienced that. But once again, if you don't know the sizing, you may be missing out on some good undies.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, any more last words? We'll wrap it up. We're about a little over 30 minutes. Take that as a
wrap
no.
for me.
Take that as a no. Okay, everyone. Thanks for listening to us. We'll probably do a couple more roundtables in the future about different topics we have coming up. And we hope you'll have a good week. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we'll have a few more of these as the podcast goes on and the blog. I'll be back on talking about who knows what. And if you have any topics you want us to talk about, just let us know, and maybe we'll get some readers on the podcast every now and then to give their opinions as well. That would be fun. And always, email us at info@underwearnewsbriefs.com, or you can check out our blog, our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is a good way to interact with us as well. Just check us out there and post on our wall, send pictures, whatever. And lastly, Twitter. We're UNB blog on Twitter, and that's another great way to interact with us. So have a great day, and look forward to more podcasts. We have a few coming out soon, so there'll be probably 2 or 3 the next week. And enjoy and have a great week. Bye.